Alright, so we're going to be replacing the hard drive on this HP laptop model 15-DA0022CY. Alright, so first thing we're going to do is remove these rubber pieces because most likely they're hiding some screws. So I just use my fingernails to get under there. You can use whatever pry tools or whatever you want to get underneath. But let's go ahead and peel this up. Alright, here you can see the adhesive actually stayed stuck on there. So we're going to have to use another tool to separate that layer because it's staying in there. So I'm going to use a needle, get underneath here, and lift up the adhesive. There we go. So now we got the adhesive up. Let's go ahead and peel that. So we're going to actually pull on the adhesive strip, not the rubber. Okay, just like this. There we go. And then peel that up. Get that and move that out of the way. All right, we're going to do the same thing with the bottom one here. Hopefully the adhesive stays intact with this one. Okay, looks like it did. So let's go ahead and peel this up. There we go. Now we're going to go ahead and remove all the screws underneath. All right, these appear to be PH1 or JIS1 screws. All right, you want to keep all the screws in order because they can be different size, shape, and lengths. So the way you do that, you just remove the screw and then you put the flat side down here. All right, I'm going to put those on my desk in the pattern I remove them. This thing has like some brown stuff. Let me see if it cleans off. Whoa, that's like sticky. Okay, so let's clean that. Wow, that stuff is stuck on there pretty strong. Just make it a little bit cleaner. I'll clean off the rubber thing later, but here we go. All right. Just leave that, good enough. Okay, let's go ahead and continue removing all the screws. So again, we're going to put them in the pattern that we remove them. So there's 4 across here. Okay. If this video helps you, make sure to like and subscribe and share my channel with others so that they can also learn how to fix their devices. I'm going to put these in the same row even though it's like staggered. So that way I only have 3 rows of screws. All right. So I got 3 screws here. Alright, and then I'm going to put these all in one row because then I'll only have, 4. So there's one down in the front here. Don't forget to remove that screw. Okay, all these screws actually appear to look the same, but it's always a good idea to keep the screws in order just as a general rule of thumb. Alright, so let's go ahead and remove that. There we go. And last screw here. Alright, hopefully once I replace the hard drive it's going to be fixed. It's running really slow. Okay, and the hard drive when I go to the task manager was showing like it was at a high percentage use rate even though it wasn't really doing anything. Alright, so anyways, once we get those screws out, here you'll see there's a gap here. Okay, so to remove it, I get my fingernails in that gap and then I use my thumb to push on it while I pull back with my fingernails. Alright, so just like this. There we go. Normally I wouldn't have it up like that. I would have it down like this, but I figured it'd be easier to show you guys. Oh, one other thing I almost forgot. We need to remove the CD drive here. So this screw most likely is holding the CD drive in place. So I'm going to use my fingernail here. And then while I'm sliding up and down, I'll slowly pull on this just like that. And there we go. And okay, there's no screws hidden under there. But anyways, let's go ahead and continue removing the bottom cover. So gonna just go around the case while we're kind of pulling up and pushing with our thumb. Okay, just like that. And then these can be a little bit tricky, so just be careful with that. Let's go ahead and go to the other side. Same thing, get your fingernails in that. You can use pry tools if you want, but I find fingernails work the best. All right, so there we go. All right. Every so often I get like the fashion police telling me that I should cut my fingernails and whatnot. I don't know who decides that tools are pretty or ugly or whatever. I use these as tools. So, I mean, if I thought fingers were ugly, I wouldn't tell people to cut their fingers off. So it's kind of, I use these all the time. So here you see, we can open that. All right, we're going to go over to the other side. Same thing, we'll go over here and we'll pull up this corner and this edge, and there we go. So there we go. Oh, I forgot to turn off my notifications. Let me do that real quick. All right, so now we got this thing open. So I'm just gonna do a quick overview of what's inside. Why is their wireless antenna disconnected? So for some reason their wireless antenna is disconnected. That's really weird. All right, let's go ahead and get the antenna. Oops, sorry, I'm blocking my view. I can't see what I'm looking at. Let me zoom in here and then I'll show you this. So for some reason the wireless antenna here is disconnected. So we're just gonna line this back up. Okay, and then click it into place. Make sure it's lined up. You know it's lined up because if you have it in the right place and you try and move it around, it will stay, and then you can go ahead and push it down. All right, so I'm not going to remove the battery, but if you need to, there's 3 screws here. Oops, sorry, let me zoom back out. So if you need to, there's 3 screws along the top, and then you kind of just pull it up. It'll come up at an angle. There's some little feet here that hook under here that you can kind of slide it back in and out. But anyways, all right, so now we're gonna go over the RAM and then the hard drive. So there's actually a small SSD here. Actually, let me go ahead and remove the battery so I can kind of show a little bit more of what's underneath. All right, so we'll remove the 3 screws. If I didn't mention it already, the battery model number is here, HT03XL. And then they also have a HP spare part number here, L11119-855, all right? That's 4 ones, a 9, and then -855. All right, there we go. Let's remove these 3. I'm actually going to remove the Intel Optane memory because we're putting an SSD. And the Optane memory is just another failure point, so we're going to remove that. All right, let's go ahead and pop the hard drive out. So you just pull it straight up, just like this. And then we have to slide it out here because of these little legs here that get caught. There you go. Got the battery. I'll take that out. Okay, so let's go ahead and go with the RAM here. So we're going to pop these 2 tabs to the side, and here you can see the RAM comes out. We got PC4. They put a stupid sticker on top, so let's go ahead and take the other one out. There's dust on here. Let's clean that out. Okay, let's go ahead and remove this one. Here you go, PC4 2400T. So if you want to upgrade your RAM, make sure it's PC4 2400T. You can get any size stick you want. You can get 2 16 gig sticks, 2 8 gig sticks, doesn't matter. Just make sure it's PC4 2400T. All right, again, I'm going to take out the Intel Optane thing because that can cause some issues. So let's go ahead and remove that. I don't know if this slot will support, I think usually these Intel Optane things are PCIe NVMe, even though it looks like a SATA type drive. Oh yeah, it says PCIe NVMe on the back. So this laptop, if you want, you can get a PCIe NVMe SSD and install it there. But what we did, we cloned the hard drive onto a 2.5-inch SATA hard drive, or SATA SSD, sorry, because the original one was a hard drive. I didn't realize it had this SSD at the time. All right, so let's go ahead and remove the hard drive here. So the hard drive has, are there actually screws holding this? No. Okay. So this actually, this bracket actually can get pulled upwards, but it is stuck on there somehow. What's holding it down? I guess we will just remove this bracket. I thought I'd be able to lift it out and then slide it back, but I guess we'll have to remove the bracket separately. So let's remove this bracket. Okay, this bracket's like caught on here somehow. I don't know why it's stuck. That's weird. What is going on? What's holding it? There we go. Okay, I don't know what was holding it in place, but we got that bracket out. All right, now we can go ahead and slide the hard drive back slightly, lift it up. You don't want to damage the cable there. All right, and there we go. Got the hard drive out. Let's go ahead and put the new SSD in. So we have this cable here for the USB port and the SD card slot, or whatever else is on here. All right, oops, I forgot about the screws that I put there. Okay, if you're gonna work on the computer like the LCD cable, after removing the battery, you wanna press and hold the power button to drain the power from it. Let's go ahead and get the SSD in first before we forget. All right. Put this little bracket back down. I don't know if that's a customer outside. All right, let's hold this up and tighten the screw into place. Get the second screw and do the same thing. Hold it up slightly and tighten that into place. All right, since we're using the SSD and it's thinner, you don't want to put too much downward pressure here because now it's just floating. All right, sorry about that. A customer called and showed up. All right, so anyways, make sure these screws are tightened, but again, the SSD is thinner, so you don't want to push down too hard or it will kind of flex this. All right, so let's go ahead and go over all these cables. So again, this cable is going to that SD card slot with the USB port, keyboard connectors underneath, trackpad connector, which connects to the button down here, and then the buttons go to the motherboard there. You got the cable here for the hard drive, the SSD SATA adapter. All right, then wireless card again. CPU is soldered to the board. You got the fan connector right here. You got the DC jack charge port connector here, and then you got the LCD LVDS connector here. Again, if you're going to mess with this connector, make sure that after you remove the battery, you open the computer and then press and hold the power button for 15 seconds. All right, so we're going to go ahead and reassemble this thing and boot it up. I'm going to clean out the dust real quick, and yep, I'll see you guys in a bit. All right, so I'm back, cleaned out the dust a little bit. All right, let's go ahead and reassemble this. We'll put the battery back in, okay? So again, battery goes in, little feet here have to go in first. Slide that back, all right, get this lined up, push that down into place. Let's go ahead and put back the 3 screws that were holding it into place, there we go. The battery also acts as the BIOS or CMOS battery. So I've had a few people ask where the BIOS or CMOS battery is. It's part of this battery. So after you remove the battery and press and hold the power button, it basically will reset the BIOS. So you'll see that once I go ahead and boot this thing back up. All right, get all these screws back in. There we go. Let me zoom back out. All right, let's go ahead and put the cover back on. So just line it all back up and then just clip it all back in. Make sure all these clips go back in as well. Okay, just go all the way around. Make sure everything is clipped in. You can open it as well and double check. Make sure that everything looks clipped in properly. Yep, looks good. Okay, let's close this. All right, let's go ahead and put the CD drive back in, or optical drive. You can actually get adapters for this to add another hard drive. So if you wanted, you can have the M.2 PCIe NVMe, another hard drive here, and then you can replace this and have a third hard drive there. Okay. All right, anyways, let's go ahead and put back all these screws. All right. Okay, let's go ahead and put that. Again, this screw is the one that's holding the optical drive or the CD drive in place. Alright, so other than that, that's pretty much it. Again, hopefully this video helped you guys. If it did, please like, subscribe, share my channel with others so that they can also learn how to work on their devices. If you need help with like how to clone your hard drive or how to do a clean install of Windows, I actually have a playlist for like general computer repairs, and then I have those in there. The Windows install drive, you'd need another computer to create one, but I have that. It's labeled as the how to upgrade to Windows 10 from other operating systems. Right, so let's go ahead and get this in. All right. Oh, that's kind of sticky there. Let me clean that up. Oh, what'd they spill in here? Some kind of food or something. I don't know. Okay, get all of that seated in. There we go. Alright, if this video saved you a bunch of money, please consider contributing to the channel so that I can continue making these videos for a living. But that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching. Let's go ahead and see if this thing starts up okay. Again, because we removed the battery, which is also the BIOS or CMOS battery. Oh, make sure to clip all of that into place. the computer is gonna take a while. It's gonna start up the BIOS and everything, so let's make sure. Is it starting up, or do I need to plug it in? Okay, let me plug it in real quick just in case. Sometimes these computers need you to plug them back in the first time you start them back up. All right. Okay, I hear it starting up now. So now we're going to have to give it some time because we removed the battery. Again, the BIOS or CMOS was reset. Okay, so we'll give it a few seconds. I saw the screen flicker on and off. Give it a few more seconds. If it still doesn't come on, then we're going to have to figure out what's going on with it. Oh, there we go. So here you go. You can see BIOS or CMOS reset thing. All right, and then you just press enter to reboot. Sometimes if you messed with the RAM, if the computer's still not turning on, it could be that the RAM is bad, so you might want to check the RAM. Sometimes the RAM sticks are dirty, sometimes the RAM failed, but there you go. It's booting up, and we should be good to go. So again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. I'll drop this. Bye.